for watching County Report This Week. I'm Susan Kenedy. We start this week with the grilling of Pepco officials by frustrated council members over the utility company's performance after last month's massive storm. Hundreds of thousands of residents were left without power for as much as a week. And as Council President Roger Berliner tells us, this has become a quality of life issue for county residents.
We need better performance, not more PR.
Council members were visibly frustrated with Pepco officials as they appeared to answer questions about the outages from the derecho storms that caused monumental power outages throughout the region. Council President Berliner told Pepco President Tom Graham, Doug Nazarian of the Maryland Public Service Commission, and others on the panel that the way Pepco does business is simply unacceptable.
And we need to realize we have an antiquated utility system that does not come close to meeting the need for highly reliable, clean, and efficient power in the 21st century.
The council hearing room was packed with angry residents carrying homemade signs criticizing Pepco, but Pepco officials defended their company's response to the storm.
Is it possible to restore service to 483,000 customers in under a week? No utility that I'm aware of can recover that quickly from a catastrophic event of that magnitude.
In 2010, the Maryland Public Service Commission fined Pepco $1 million for failures that led to massive outages after late winter snowstorms. And just this week, the commission rejected $50 million of the $68 million increase requested by the company because of its substandard performance.
They said that there will be no rate increase to pay for past neglect, past underinvestment. And if the PSC holds true to that for the coming years, that's going to make a big difference for ratepayers.
Though they could not testify at the meeting, dozens of Montgomery County residents turned out to watch the council's debriefing in person. MCM Sonia Burke talked to residents before and after the meeting.
These residents gathered in the cafeteria of the council office building before the Pepco debriefing began. They were swapping stories, signing petitions, and even sharing their frustration through song.
We have a website called packuppepco.com, and on that we do have a petition.
I'm here to express our community's outrage at Pepco's mishandling of this entire disaster.
And just the interruption of our lives and our schedules and the cost involved was very devastating in our neighborhood. And no response from Pepco, despite repeated calls about live down power lines and very dangerous conditions that really went unresponded to.
I made reports every day. Several times they said no crew has been assigned, then they said a crew has been assigned, then they said no crew has been assigned. Then they had no record of the reporting, and then they had some notices that there was restoration when there wasn't restoration.
6 long days and 100 degrees, the people sweat due to corporate greed.
Residents say after living with no power, watching the weather can be stressful if storms are moving through the area.
We freak out. We watch the news reports and we turn our AC down. We start, doing all of that, and that's completely outrageous.
I'm not sure from week to week whether or not we're going to have another outage because our systems are flawed.
We don't know what to expect, so we go into emergency mode.
Preparation for some means buying a generator.
In my neighborhood in Silver Spring, we've replaced our generators. We bought generators, used them, and wore them out.
On the evening of August 7th, residents can have their say when the Public Service Commission holds a public hearing here at the council office building.
We're not going to back down. We're not going to let this go. We're tired of the situation and we're ready to make a change.
In Rockville, I'm Sonia Burke reporting.
Along those same lines, members of the county's emergency management team were on hand at this week's council session for a briefing on how the county government responded to the June 29th storm. Representatives of a number of county departments were on hand to explain the post-storm efforts.
I think from a county standpoint, it was nice to see some of the things really come together. From a continuity of operations standpoint, I think of how many offices we moved on Sunday so that we opened up all those we opened up for business on Monday morning, I was extremely proud. In fact, we moved entire businesses. We moved a jail, we moved 311, we moved permitting services, we moved parts of finance, we moved in parts of entire departments, and that was sort of great to see. I think that people have to think about it from the same standpoint, though. If you lose one piece, how else are you going to sort of accomplish your mission, your goal? And sometimes, like I said, it's just keeping your family safe versus what you could maybe do for your whole block.
It will be a little smoother to drive through some Montgomery County roads. A host of government officials recently celebrated the completion of 7 road paving projects. A total of 43 miles received a facelift thanks to $6.7 million in funding from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. The selected roads were designated as high priority projects by the county's Department of Transportation. Some of them include portions of Shady Grove, Barnesville Road, Randolph, and Forest Glen roads. These projects also added ramps to sidewalks, traffic barriers, and thermoplastic pavement markers. The funds for these projects employed some 50 people.
It was more than just paving the roads. Stormwater changes, striping the roads. We added sidewalks in certain areas. And so it's about, in each area of the county, we've gone through that. Most recently, the last one completed was Shady Grove Road. New Hampshire Avenue, for example, in the county. So we've gone through a number of those road projects throughout the county, but this was part of a $168 million recovery funds given to the county in terms of schools, environmental initiatives, transportation. And we put that money to good use. More importantly, though, it provides for safety and convenience for people who are utilizing those roads, and also jobs for contractors who've contracted workers to go out and make certain that we have those investments.
In other news, a unanimous vote in favor of an amended zoning text amendment that deals with buffers between large gas stations and surrounding neighborhoods. The measure will change the rules for a pending special exception for a proposed gas station that would be part of a future Costco store in Wheaton. The bill states those stations must be located at least 300 feet from schools, parks, hospitals, or other public uses.
My goal, because when I became aware of this as a health issue, was to try to make sure that wherever these stations go, we have a sufficient buffer between the station and the residents. And there's a lot of scientific evidence that indicates it ought to be more than 100 or 200 feet. And California has 1,000-foot siting guidelines for schools and other similar public facilities. So I feel pretty strongly that this is in the interest of protecting public health. And that's been my motivation in dealing with this.
An intersection in Wheaton that has been plagued by accidents over the past several years has a new traffic signal thanks to a multi-year effort spearheaded by Councilmember Valerie Irvin. The signal is located at the intersection of Veers Mill Road and Claridge Road and will protect residents who cross multiple lanes of traffic.
People were crossing the street every day to get to the bus stop, which is on the other side of Veers Mill. And, children were taking the bus. Very scary intersection. Cars were traveling 60, 70 miles an hour on Veers Mill Road. And so we set about taking care of that community by taking care of getting a traffic light at Claridge.
Still to come on County Report this week, some county students take part in a summer adventure. And the chief of police for the city of Rockville has plans to make the streets safer for pedestrians. When County Report this week continues.
Montgomery County is looking for a few good men and women and teenagers too to help with the county fair. Volunteers are needed to give out information, get the fairgrounds ready, organize games for small children, and prepare and serve food. The possibilities are endless, but you have to sign up now to volunteer in August. Call 301-926-3100 or visit MC Ag Fair to find out more. Be a part of the county fair and this year, volunteer.
Welcome back to County Report. Montgomery County Police recently solved a case in their department with the help of social media. And Officer Rebecca Innocenti is here to give us more details on that. Officer, this is a first, isn't it?
It is, Susan. The Montgomery County Police Department is really using social media like our Facebook page and Twitter account to get information out to the public. And we saw just how successful social media can be in helping us on July 24th. On that morning, we posted a missing person alert on our Facebook page and Twitter account, letting the public know that we had a missing person case and asking for their help in locating this individual. Within an hour of posting this missing person information to our social media sites, an individual who follows us on Facebook actually saw the missing person in Rockville. That citizen called police. We were able to go to that location, find the missing individual, and reunite him with his family. Certainly, the police department and the detective investigating this missing person case were greatly encouraged that social media helped locate this missing person. And certainly, we invite anybody who does not follow us yet on Facebook and Twitter to go to our sites and look at the information that we're providing to the public.
Excellent. It's interesting to see how social media is working into helping you solve your crimes, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. Thank you very much, Officer Rebecca Innocenti, Montgomery County Police. Summer adventures are plentiful for kids in the county, and for thousands of MCPS students in kindergarten through grade 2, one adventure comes with an added bonus: getting a head start on learning for the upcoming school year. Here's more on that from MCPS TV.
We are showing one less. So today, more than 3,500 students in grades K through 2 are having fun while learning this summer thanks to the ELO SAIL program. ELO SAIL, which stands for Extended Learning Opportunities, Summer Adventures in Learning, is a free 4-week program for low-income families. It is designed to reinforce what students have learned during the school year and provide a head start on learning for the upcoming year.
You're going to go back to your desk and finish your classwork.
ELO SAIL is offered at 22 Title I schools in the county, including Roscoe Nix Elementary School in Silver Spring, where more than 250 students are registered for the program, which features a 4-hour day of reading, math, and language arts.
Many of our students, they don't have activities during the summer that help to enhance their learning. So this program is really good because it focuses on the math and reading. It gives them a jump start on what's to come in the curriculum.
It is crucial to have this program to help them review what they've learned and to help them keep the information they have. An average student loses a lot during the summer.
I'm here to learn new stuff and go up levels and go to second grade.
My favorite thing is to read. We are learning about reading and math.
In addition to instruction, students receive free nutritious meals. Funded by the federal government, ELO SAIL is helping thousands of MCPS students achieve their goals.
The program is offered at 22 Title I schools in the county. As the summer winds down, we remind you to mark your calendars for the MCPS Back to School Fair on Saturday, August 25th at the Carver Educational Services Center in Rockville. Rockville 11 caught up with Police Chief Treshuk and Matt Folden on 355 Hungerford Drive to learn about the dangers of jaywalking and learn some tips on pedestrian safety. It's part of a coordinated effort with the city, county, and state to make it safer for pedestrians on Rockville's roads. Our Rockville 11's Bridget Breuer has the story.
We have a real issue of jaywalking and people trying to cross the street in the middle of the block and trying to run across in front of traffic. There's businesses on both sides of the streets where people want to come to, and the crosswalks are down the block and up the block, but people are being too impatient. They're trying to cross the street in the middle of the block. So we have some very dangerous situations occurring.
This area is the ideal case study for how the city implements the 3 E's, which stands for education, engineering, and enforcement. It involves multiple departments all working towards the same goal, to increase pedestrian safety in the city. As we were conducting the interview, we saw many people jaywalking, and one situation caught Chief Treshuk's attention.
She got off the bus at a bus stop, and she's an elderly woman. And instead of walking up the street to the signalized crosswalk, she tried to walk across the street, got stuck in the middle. And in the time that it took her to get all the way across the street, she could have easily have walked up to the crosswalk, got across the street nice and safe, and gotten to where she wanted to go. As it was, she put herself and the motorist in danger.
As Chief Treshik mentioned, this stretch of 355 is a hotspot for jaywalking in the city. But with consistent enforcement and engineering improvements, this area on Rockville Pike is becoming much safer for pedestrians. Because 355 is a state road, the city does not have jurisdiction to make any changes. But by working with WMATA, Rockville has succeeded in eliminating a dangerous situation.
So specifically here at the bus stop we're standing at, we had to coordinate with Montgomery County Ride-On and WMATA Metro Bus to actually relocate the bus stop about 350 feet north of where we're standing to the signalized Frederick Avenue crosswalk. There's a supermarket behind me, a number of commercial establishments here at the shopping center, and it's just a place that people want to be. And when they're in one location and they like to be across the street in the next, you know, it's creates basically a desire line between the two locations, and that's why we have the jaywalking problem.
This map provided by Rockville's Department of Public Works shows in red how the commercial areas generate the most foot traffic. The solid yellow circle illustrates jaywalkers on 355. The dotted yellow circle is the location of the new bus stop at the crosswalk. The goal is to make this stretch of road safe for pedestrians to cross at the designated crosswalk. Chief Treshik's advice for pedestrians out there on the road?
For the pedestrians, it's really use the legal and safe means to cross the roadways. It's the law, it works. You can cross in a crosswalk and you're safe and secure, and you're not trying to run across a 4 or 5 lane highway to get somewhere.
For more information on what the city is doing to keep pedestrians safe, go to rockvillemd.gov and search pedestrian safety.
Up next on County Report, we'll take you to Montgomery College for a reenactment of sorts. And we'll find out a little about one of Montgomery County's hidden gems. Stay with us. Welcome back to County Report. A competitive race for an open city council seat in the city of Takoma Park has been decided. Jarrett Smith has been elected to the council with a special election vote. Smith won the race by just 17 votes and will become the next city council member for Ward 5. He replaces Reuben Snipper, who resigned to move to Italy with his wife. Washington Grove is located just outside of Gaithersburg, and it's known as a town within a forest. It was originally a Methodist meeting ground founded in 1872 on a 200-acre tract of land, and those followers eventually constructed year-round homes. Joli McCathran is the mayor pro tem of Washington Grove, and she's here to tell us more about this historic community. Joli, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you, Susan.
Tell us a little bit about Washington Grove. Who lives there?
Today we have all people from all walks of life who live in Washington Grove. We're all volunteer, including the mayor, the council, planning commission, and the many committees in Washington Grove. We have people from all walks of life, many federal government workers, trade people, many professions, artists, lawyers, all of the gamut of life lives in Washington Grove.
Now, how many folks live there and how big is the area?
The area is 200 acres. We're very proud that 53% of that acreage is town land and wood preserve park land. Our population is just under 500 and we have about 225 homes.
Okay, so it is a very small community, but you are governed by a mayor and council. What sort of issues do you deal with there?
Many of our issues, of course, are internal. We're dealing with our woods, our planning commission, building construction, but we also have exterior issues, trying to remain who we are. We're a historic community. The entire town was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1979. So we have to deal with a lot of outside building projects next to us. We want to make sure that they're compatible with our community and our surroundings.
That you bring up a good point. We are dealing with growth here in Montgomery County on a regular basis, and there is a particular issue that I'm aware of that you can tell us a little bit more about that you are dealing with at this time in Washington Grove.
We have a community that is directly to the north of us that the owners want to build a very high density unit and it's not compatible with the surrounding community of Washington Grove and our neighbor in the Saybrook community. So it's something that we're following and working closely with that community to see if the development can be in line with the characteristic of the town and the surrounding communities.
So even though you're only a town of 500 folks, you have big issues that you have to face.
Yes, we use our town government, our county government, and our state government on a regular basis in trying to work together to resolve our concerns.
And finally, what can folks do what should they do if they come visit Washington Grove?
Probably the most important thing I would recommend doing is parking your car and walking. All the houses face avenues, so if you really want to see the front of houses and the early Methodist architecture for which the town is known, you want to park your car and walk and enjoy it. And we love to see people coming through. People come through, geocache, walk, picnicking. So everyone's welcome to come in and take a stroll and enjoy the community.
Yeah, it is a charming, charming little community. Thank you so much, Joli McCathran from the town of Washington Grove. Chautauqua is an event where scholars and actors portray famous people in history, and Montgomery College Germantown recently hosted this year's event.
And in the middle of the night, they arrested him. They burst through his door. They ran up his stairs. They found him in his bedchamber.
History came alive again at Montgomery College Germantown at the recent Chautauqua. This year the theme was Maryland and the War of 1812. British Major General Robert Ross, portrayed by Doug Mishler, Mary Pickersgill, portrayed by Jill Peterson, and Francis Scott Key, portrayed by Alan Gephardt, were the three historical figures presented.
Your USS Constitution has, 24 guns. A ship of the line of ours has 74. Your Navy does not really exist next to our Navy.
The hill was full of men and cannon. I do know that, of course, that the fort was quite ready. Well, in fact, I had been asked to make a very large flag for that fort, and I am quite proud that I was able to do so.
And the Star-Spangled Banner, in triumph, shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Each evening began with a different local music act, featuring music from and inspired by the theme for the week.
My only daughter gave her body when duty called to desert sands. Now the bloodroot and dogwood blossom can't hide the work of war's evil hands.
To view the performances, check out the Montgomery College YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Montgomery College.
Coming up next on County Report, some Rockville residents participate in the race of the summer. And Kathy Stanhope will be here with our Pet of the Week. We'll be right back.
"12 Montgomery College students have received Transfer Academic Excellence Scholarships to the University of Maryland. The full tuition scholarships recognize their academic achievements. All 12 MC recipients earned a 3.5 or higher grade point average while at MC. MC President Dr. Darian Pollard has been inducted into Montgomery County's Women's History Archive by the county's Commission for Women. Dr. Pollard was honored for her leadership in education and for serving as a role model for women living in the county. The Hillman Family Foundation has donated $600,000 to MC to start an entrepreneurship program. The program will create a new model for entrepreneurship education and provide scholarships, books, mentoring, networking opportunities, and much more.
Welcome back. It happens every year in downtown Rockville, a race at night through the neighborhoods with a party atmosphere, and it brings out runners who aren't afraid of inclement weather. Rockville 11's Bridget Breuer has the story.
I'm here at the Rockville Rotary Twilight Run Fest, and I'm going to run. Go!
The rainy conditions were welcomed at the 27th annual Dark Cars Rockville Rotary Twilight Run Fest.
Well, it was a great race. I mean, for one, it wasn't 99 degrees, so that was really nice. But it was a great crowd. The weather was great for a race, and everybody's enthusiastic. It was a great time out here. Rockville did a great job as always.
It was awesome. The
people on the sidelines cheering. It made it a lot easier than it was. And like she said, the weather was great for running. Couldn't ask for a better day.
More than 2,000 runners hit the streets of Rockville with a photo finish at the end.
This race went really well. Yeah, at the end I didn't see the guy coming from the right, and luckily I was able to hold him off, but I thought the race went really well.
Wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen! Runner number 33, Christopher Mills from Falls Church.
I think this is a great experience for any runner, and I hope everybody gets a chance to come out to this meet.
The event featured an 8K run followed by a short 1K fun run, and that was just the beginning of the festivities.
Oh, it's so festive. You can go into town center and cool down, whether you cool down with something to drink or just having a great time with friends. It is a wonderful opportunity, and it's so good for the city.
The race benefits the Rockville Recreation Fund, which helps to provide financial assistance to families participating in Rec and Parks activities.
Yeah, this is one of the best events that the city of Rockville does every year. It's unique because it's a nighttime race. You never see that. And it raises a lot of money for a lot of good causes here in Rockville.
More people should run this, definitely. It's a great community of runners, and everyone supports each other. It's fantastic.
For more on events in the city, go online to rockvillemd.gov/events.
In this week's transportation update, Tom Pogue tells us about a handy new tool for folks who use Ride-On.
Hi, I'm Tom Pogue, Community Relations Manager for the Department of Transportation. Here's an update for Montgomery County. County Executive Liggett has announced the launch of Ride-On Real-Time. This new system allows passengers to obtain real-time information on bus arrivals using the internet, texting, or applications for the Android or iPhones. The new tool will help passengers determine when the next arriving bus will be at their stop. Last year, Ride-On added unique ID numbers to the signs at each of the county's 4,800 bus stops. The ID is used by the system to pinpoint a passenger's location and give arriving bus times at that stop. Ride-On Real-Time can be assessed in several ways: through the internet using a computer or web-enabled device such as a smartphone, through the Ride-On Real-Time app, or by texting the bus stop ID number to bus@rideonrealtime.com. Passengers will quickly receive a text message indicating when the next bus is coming. Tutorials on using Ride-On Real-Time are available on the county's YouTube site. Go to rideonbus.com for more information. We're working to keep you moving.
In our Pet of the Week segment this week, Kathy Stanhope introduces us to yet another furry friend looking for a home.
This is Kathy Stanhope at the Montgomery County Humane Society with the Pet of the Week. And this week we have either Mole or Mole, depending on who you talk to, which is kind of a funny name for a cat, but he came in as a stray. And he's about 3 years old. He's a neutered male. He is a very, very nice cat. And this cat is extraordinary for the very reason that he has been in the shelter here since March. This cat has been sitting in a cage for 6 months. So we need someone very special, very quickly, to come on down and rescue this poor boy. Would you like to be in a cage for 6 months? Well, he doesn't like it either. We need you to come down, take a look at this cat. You want to take this cat home with you because he is desperate for a home. And any cat that can keep his wonderful personality as he has under those circumstances is a cat that you want to take into your house. He is a favorite with the shelter staff. He's friendly, he loves to cuddle, he's very, very easygoing. He is a perfect companion for you. So if you're looking for a really nice gentleman, a black and white short hair as you can see, you want to come down and meet Mole at this shelter here in Montgomery County in Rockville. So give us a call at 240-773-5967 or visit Mole on the web at mchumane.org. You want to come get him. He needs a home desperately, right? Please come on down and adopt him. He wants to go home with you.
Events of 70 years ago in World War II changed the history of the world. And on Wednesday, September 19th at the Silver Spring Civic Building, Montgomery County will honor the men and women who served their nation at that time and have since been referred to as part of America's greatest generation. Montgomery Honors World War II Vets event organizers are currently seeking to contact more of the veterans who will be honored on September 19th. Those veterans or family and friends of the veterans seeking more information about the event should call 240-777-6666 7929. Well, that wraps up this edition of County Report This Week. Be sure to tune in again next week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. And if you're social networking, you can like us on Facebook. I'm Susan Kenedy. Have a great week.